Etzioni says the best way to get individuals in a prison type setting to do something or to be motivated is through threats and punishment, and that business organizations in such settings are motivated best through rewards, and that religious organizations, those who are participating in those type of organizations, are best motivated through persuasion and appeal. I think it really depends on the person rather than the organization itself, how a leader should respond, regardless of what organization they're in. I understand that it might be the general rule. You might find more individuals in the same organizations will react similarly. Maybe there's a greater chance that they'll respond accordingly to those three types of influence. But I think that this model, that Etzioni's model, holds the human variety, or the change in people's personalities, and I think it holds that too constant. And my thoughts are that as a leader, a leader should respond to each individual based on their needs and personalities, not the organization as a whole. And I just think that categorizing, an entire prison unit or a church gathering, and assuming that they would respond similarly. I know church and the prison deal was kind of a vague example, but but I think you have to analyze the individuals rather than the organizations. I like how Hersey and Blanchard's model shows how a leader should be dynamic in their response to each individual. I personally believe that everyone has their own range of readiness and ability, and it's the leader's responsibility to recognize and identify the range for each follower and respond accordingly. Now, while I do believe that Hersey and Blanchard's model is more realistic than Etzioni's, I do still think that it is lacking in some of the situational factors that are present in, for example, Fiedler's model. Hersey and Blanchard present a tangible guideline for how a leader should interact with their followers in more of a two-dimensional realm, but they're still missing, in my opinion, some of the situational factors that I like to see. Whereas Fiedler's model implies that leaders can be either task-oriented or people-oriented, which, in my opinion, is not indicative of how a leader should be. I believe that leaders should be able to be a combination of both, be able to fluctuate depending on the situation. And in my opinion, managers can be limited to only people or task orientation. Fiedler's situational favorability model implies that leaders should be limited in their ability to respond and adapt to different situations. In my opinion, as in his people task orientation contingency model, Fiedler's model is applied to managers more than leaders. Good leaders, in my opinion, should have dynamic personalities and should be responsive to a wide spectrum of situations and followers' needs and abilities.